today, and we don't want to take up too much time. I know everybody's busy, especially in June. So let's jump right in. On today's Training Tuesday, we're going to discuss the BidBuy version 16 upgrade was successful. A general notice will be going out just this morning regarding a vendor communication regarding IDHR's new system. And then we had good positive feedback regarding the additional BidBuy practice sessions that we added for the day after our monthly BidBuy training. And so we're going to just add an additional option for you the following week as well, the following Thursday. So you'll have the option for the day after our monthly training. So it'll be the second Thursday of each month and also the third Thursday. So we can come in and work through some BidBuy questions. And then our fact of the day and quote of the day. So first off, our over the weekend, we did have a successful upgrade into version 16 for BidBuy, which is very exciting. Just as a reminder, the only major change really was the homepage. So if you logged in on Monday morning and weren't on our call last week, you might have been surprised to see that it looks a little bit different. But there weren't any big changes. Your processes, it didn't make the job aids change for anything. Any of our steps didn't change. It's just it looks a little different from the homepage. And so you can kind of scroll around the homepage or go back and take a look at our video from last week if you weren't able to join us last week. So big thanks to Randy Garst and her team working over the weekend to get a successful upgrade into BidBuy version 16. Congratulations. All right, I also left up the slides that were on there from last week that were some of the kind of in the weeds changes. I'm not going to go through them. If you want to walk through them, I kept them in the slides just in case you weren't with us last week, or you can go back and take a look at last week's video. Like I said, I don't think I need to go through all of these, and there was nothing that was really big, no big changes that would change your day-to-day operations. Okay, so next up, let's talk about general notice. So bid 23188 will be posted as soon as it gets approved here this morning. And I just copied and pasted from the notice. You can also go in and take a look at it as well. So really this is regarding the IDHR's new system. It's called the Enterprise Licensing Permitting System. And so this is a notice specifically for vendors, but anytime that we do a general notice like this that's going out to all our vendors, we want to talk about it on one of these Tuesdays and let you know because you might receive some of these questions too. So IDHR has changed the way that they renew and do their public contracts eligibility numbers. They have a new system online to do that. And so this is regarding so like I said, this is going out to vendors and also is going vendor communication going to our IPG vendors as well. So they will be getting notice from both systems. And so talking about the new system that has a link to that system, recently the vendors would have received an email. If you cannot locate that email, but you know the email address, it talks about the steps to retrieve your ID, also an email to the support, and so there's nothing that you guys need to do. It's just to keep you in the loop to know that IDHR does have this new system, and a general notice was going out via BidBuy as well as to our IPG vendors. And then the next slide here. Also, new email reminders of expiration. So vendors will be receiving a email from the system 90 days prior to their expiration. And early renewal is encouraged. So the vendors are encouraged to renew as early as 90 days prior, but no later than 30 days prior to expiration. And that's due to just the processing time of getting that number. So if, as we go into fiscal year end, if you run into an issue where your, particularly for renewals, if your vendor has an expired IDHR number, they have to have an active registration in order to renew that contract. So if you run into that situation, immediately contact your SPO, and we can potentially expedite a registration in order to get that done. Let's see, we have a question. If they renew early, does it reset their renewal period? Yes, it is a 5-year registration though. So this is different than, IPG is a yearly registration. Now, in order to be an IPG, they have to be registered in IDHR. However, if the IDHR registration is up within that year, they can still be registered in IPG. However, there is a flag that is set in their registration saying their IDHR number is going to be expired within a year. So that's why, that's also a part of one of the reasons why just because you're an IPG doesn't necessarily mean that you can have a contract, because that time could lapse. However, if the vendor renews early on with their IDHR, that 5-year mark would reset their renewal period, to answer your question there. Do POC vendors required to have a DHR? I'm not sure what POC is. Maybe you can put in, I'm not sure if you mean DOC. So in order to, so this is for, you have to
Purchase of care, Dave.
Oh, purchase of care. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not sure, because I think purchase of care is exempt from the procurement code. However, I need to follow up that, because I have to take a look at exactly how the Human Rights Act is worded. And it's the IDHR registration. I think it does say contractors. But that's a good question, and thanks for letting me know about the POC. A new acronym Dave gets to learn to add to the 500 already. So I will double back with that. But just for everyone else's clarification, if a vendor has 15 or more employees at any one point within the last 365 days, they need to have a public contracting number with Department of Human Rights. But I will definitely let you know regarding the purchase of care vendors. Okay, next up, so we have, we talked about this last week, and we just recently added it as a part of our opportunities for additional training. And this is the BidBuy Practice Sessions that we added the day after our monthly BidBuy training. So these will be offered the Thursday following our monthly BidBuy training. And we did receive some feedback from people who attended the Wednesday class that they would love to be able to attend. They just couldn't carve out the time the immediate day after. And so that makes sense if you're in an all-day training that you can't get away for the next day. So what we're going to do is we're going to provide that as an option for the second and third Thursday of each month. And so this is completely optional. This is just going to allow users to walk through examples with me and another trainer on the call, share screens. It's going to be a little bit more informal for the and more collaborative. We can get into the weeds a little bit more, and we can do specific things that we can't really get off track when we're doing our first training on that Wednesday prior. And so you can allow for more specific questions once you've attended the monthly training. So you don't have to necessarily come to that month's Wednesday in order to show up on a second or third Thursday BidBuy practice session. They're just intended for additional opportunities for you guys to jump on the call and maybe have a specific BidBuy question that I might be able to help you with. Or I think in our last training that we did last Thursday, we dug into a small purchase with emergency conditions. We did a small purchase with sole source conditions. We talked about how to do an emergency, a few of those different things that we just don't have the time to do when we do a broader introductory training on our monthly BidBuy training. But we want to be able to walk through those things with you. So additional opportunities for you regarding the practice sessions. So this does not affect our BidBuy monthly training at all. It doesn't replace the questions and the Q&As on our monthly training. We still want to have all those questions coming in on our Wednesday training. It's just providing an additional opportunity to practice. And you do not have to attend the monthly training immediately prior. We talked about that. So if you came to last month's training or 2 months ago went to the monthly training, you can feel free to jump in on these second and third Thursdays. So I kept the slide here for the second Thursday, and then we actually have a different link for the third Thursday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to set it up to where I could have the same link on a second and third Thursday via WebEx. So there will be two different links, and we will post them on the same page as we on the calendar of events. And so this is the slide that I keep up each week, where we can find the training Tuesdays, where you can find the BidBuy training links for our monthly BidBuy training, and we'll just have those posted for the BidBuy sessions on that calendar of events, and I'll get that posted hopefully today. Okay, but you will have the links for this week. So let me go back. So for instance, this third Thursday will start this week. So Thursday, June 17th at 9 a.m. And you have the link here in the slides. I'll also be sending out this link specifically to any of you that were on last week's training and want to circle back and last week's BidBuy monthly training. Any of you that attended, you'll receive an email from me here in a little bit with this information as well. Okay, and our fact of the day, in honor and celebration of Juneteenth, this Saturday, June 19th, Illinois was the first state to ratify the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, abolishing slavery on February 1st, 1865. So a little bit of Illinois fact there. And then our quote of the day, this is fiscal year edition, so we'll have a couple quotes for our fiscal year edition the last couple weeks. Regarding this, one of my favorite shows, and I think it's a brilliant show, hilarious, is called Arrested Development. If you've never seen it, it's 100% recommended from your buddy Dave here. So Keep Your Head Down and Power Through by Michael Bluth. So fiscal year end. Also, this cracked me up that I try to take just one day at a time, but lately several days have attacked me at once. I know we're all kind of starting to feel the pressure of fiscal year end. So here's your Michael Bluth pat on the back. Keep your head down, power through. So for some of you that have watched that show, you might get that. If not, we will see you, some of you this Thursday on BidBuy Practice Sessions. If not, we'll see you here next Tuesday. Thanks, everybody.